This is the Georgia Farm Monitor. Since 1966, your source for state and national agribusiness news, and features for farmers and consumers about Georgia's #1 industry, agriculture. The Georgia Farm Monitor is produced by the state's largest general farm organization, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now, here are your hosts, Ray DeLesio and Kenny Bergamy.
Well, actually, one minor change today, and that's the fact that Kenny is on assignment. Therefore, I'm flying solo. Nevertheless, still got a great show planned for you. Coming up, we'll head to Glenville, Georgia, and show you the sights and sounds from this year's Sweet Onion Festival, an event that has never been rained out in its 40-year history. Would that streak continue? Also on the program, blueberry season is here, and so is Marcia Crowley with all kinds of great recipes using Georgia blueberries. That includes a pancake recipe you do not want to miss. And then later, we head to Wilkes County, Georgia to see how 35 years of blood, sweat, and tears is paying dividends for this active Farm Bureau member. These stories and much more starting right now on the Georgia Farm Monitor. While it might not be the most well-known commodity in Georgia, timber accounted for more than $600 million to the state's economy last year. Recently, the Monitor's Damon Jones took a look at one company in Blue Ridge putting that product to good use, building state-of-the-art log homes.
All along the rolling hills of North Georgia, you're likely to see plenty of green. That's exactly what the state sees as well, as Georgia is the nation's second largest timber producer. And that's good news for the Sisson Company as they buy the product in its raw form by the truckloads.
Timber people haul the logs into our mill. We weigh them and pay them with a ton. We saw them into cants and dimensional size lumber. From there, they go into a dry kiln where they're dried.
After spending weeks in the kiln, the wood is finally dry enough to be processed and shaped into the beautiful architecture seen in these log homes that the company specializes in.
We have planers. We plane the lumber into dimensional lumber, such as framing, 2x4s, 2x6s, and also paneling, which is used for interior walls. And the larger timbers we use to make logs for log homes.
Now, even though log homes is somewhat of a niche market, that doesn't mean there isn't a constant demand. In fact, it's so much so that the builders are having a tough time keeping pace.
At the moment, we can't keep up with the demand, especially for the completed houses we build. Right now, we've got a backlog of orders. Of course, at one time, a few years ago, we had a backlog of 85 homes to build.
While these homes might look rustic, they are very state-of-the-art and are actually more energy efficient than houses built with insulation.
A lot of people wonder if you can heat them, and it's a lot more efficient than an insulated home, because once the house is heated or cooled, the R value is much, much higher than with a standard insulated home.
So, as you can see, for the wood to go from this to this, it must first go through a number of different processes.
The log is cut in the forest till the time it gets to a house. It goes through many hands. And especially nowadays, since more of the wood is utilized.
And that's really the biggest difference within the industry today. Instead of throwing away or burning the byproducts, they are now being used in a number of different ways.
The bark of the tree is used for landscaping mulch. The sawdust today is used for by the poultry industry, and they fight over it. The shavings, as you saw earlier, goes into bags and is sold for pet bedding. Without using those products today, you couldn't stay in business very long.
Reporting from Blue Ridge, I'm Damon Jones for the Georgia Farm Monitor.
In other news now, new research shows that birds aren't the only carriers and transmitters of avian influenza. According to USDA, a government wildlife researcher found that rabbits and skunks can become infected with the virus and then shed it enough to infect ducks. During one lab experiment, striped skunks transmitted a strain of bird flu to mallard ducks after they shared food and water sources. USDA says the study is the first significant confirmation that mammals can transmit the virus to birds. Of course, rabbits and skunks are commonly found on farms and are also frequent visitors to riverbanks and wetlands where waterfowl gather. Testifying before the House Ag Subcommittee on Conservation and Forestry, 3 Farm Bureau members recently spoke of their personal experiences with EPA and what their regulations mean for agriculture. During his testimony, Pennsylvania Farm Bureau President Rick Ebert was critical of EPA, saying the organization is spreading false information about family farms.
We've made major progress in reducing pollution in the watershed, but EPA still points fingers, painting agriculture, farmers just like me, as a villain. To EPA, I ask, do you really think I'm trying to pollute? I no-till, I plant cover crops, I've implemented nutrient management plans voluntarily without federal funding. However, in the eyes of EPA's model, it doesn't matter.
Meantime, consumers all across the country enjoy the taste of sweet Vidalia onions, and a large percentage of those onions are grown in Tattnall County near Glenville. Every year, the Glenville community gathers for a festival to pay tribute to one of Georgia's most famous crops and to the farmers that grow them. The Monitor's Mark Wildman has the story.
Once a year, the town of Glenville and the surrounding areas gather to celebrate the local sweet onion crop and thank the farmers who produce them. Citizens of all ages show up to watch the parade march through town, eat local food, and of course check out the annual turtle race, which is always a crowd favorite. It is an effort to celebrate a very special Georgia commodity.
Agriculture plays a big part of our city and our economy here in Glenville and in Tattnall County. And it's just a day to spotlight the Vidalia onions and let everybody know that the season's over with and get ready to get them in the market. Vendors are here that have natural products such as honey and other crafts and arts that are taking place, as well as some boosts for local fundraisers such as the Lions Club and local organizations and church activities. So it's a great time. It's a reunion of sorts that brings people back from the area or to the area to let them visit Glenville and let us shine a little bit and spotlight our farmers that are local.
The festival is very important to the community, and every year citizens look forward to the celebration.
Started in 1977. As you know, Tattnall County grows more Vidalia sweet onions than any other county that's in the Georgia agricultural approved area. And it's our 40th year. We've never been rained out. We've been blessed with sunny skies every year, and we're just very proud of our farmers.
Georgia Farm Bureau President Gerald Long attended the event and was able to address the large crowd that was on hand.
I want to thank the farmers and agriculture here in Tattnall County for what y'all do. As I understand, onions started being grown here in this county somewhere around 1937. If you'll stop and think about the economic impact that this had on this county and the surrounding areas, other counties would love to have this opportunity. So I want to thank agriculture for what y'all have done, but also the community for what y'all do to support agriculture. And anything we can do in Farm Bureau to help y'all, we're certainly here.
Over the years, this festival has grown, and it seems to get bigger every year. And why not? Vidalia onions contribute over $150 million to the state's economy, and a lot of that is generated in Tattnall County.
Before the pageant, I was looking up facts and things like that, and it is insane the amount of revenue and the percentage of Georgia's revenue that Tattnall County actually produces. I think it's around 75% or so.
So all summer long, consumers will enjoy fresh, sweet Vidalia onions, thanks to the farmers and the communities that support them. In Glenville, I'm Mark Wildman for the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Mark, thank you so much. Of course, if you missed any part of this story or others on today's program, you can still see them in their entirety at our YouTube channel. That's the Georgia Farm Monitor. Once there, you can browse the archives of stories dating as far back as 2009. And of course, once you're done watching all those great stories, just keep clicking like the Georgia Farm Monitor Facebook page we have set up for you. Also, if you have a story idea or if you just want to leave us a comment or suggestion, feel free. Send us a message either on Facebook or at the address listed below. That is news@farm-monitor.com. Time for a quick break, but when the Monitor continues, we've got some blueberry recipes that are just out of this world. Marsha Crowley and her mouth-watering blueberry pancakes, meals from the field, when the Georgia Farm Monitor continues.
The city was fun for a while, but it just started itching. Even though I said I never would come back, I did. And now my husband and I live in a farmhouse literally right next door to the family farm, and we've been involved back in the farm for about 4 years now.
I work at USDA Farm Service Agency. It's I guess what you would call my day job. And after that, I also come work on the farm. We farm about 2,000 acres of corn, soybeans, and wheat. Get to work with Katie's dad and uncle and get to help farm. But it's also neat to see how everybody can work together. You got somebody on the combine, you got somebody on the grain cart, and somebody driving the trucks, and then everybody has to maneuver together to make the job complete.
There's a sense of pride every year when you're out there and you're taking care of the land, you're planting, you're raising these crops, and there's just this pride that that you can be out there taking care of that land, and you can watch your corn and soybeans grow, and at the end of the year, you get to harvest them. And to me, it's a sense of pride to know, you can take care of something.
Well, I hope you like blueberries, because today we have a blueberry feast. Blueberry covered chicken, blueberry pancakes, blueberry salad, and after all, let's face it, Georgia is the state's leader in all of the United States of blueberry production. Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of Meals in the Field. As always, I am joined by the wonderful, the fabulous, the world famous Marcia Crowley,
Is it April Fool's Day?
No, it's not April Fool's Day. Our resident home economist. So good to see you again.
Good to see you again, Ray.
And as we mentioned, blueberries becoming more and more popular in this state.
They really are, and they're so good for you.
They are very good, and you've come up with some phenomenal recipes
I
today.
hope so. I hope it works as planned.
Can we start with dessert?
We're doing blueberry pancakes.
Okay, so we're going to start with dessert today.
Yeah, and hopefully I can flip them like I can at home.
All right.
The pressure won't be on.
Let's see what you got.
All right, this is a homemade batter. I know there's plenty of store-bought ones out there that are very good, so that's acceptable too. So this is flour, baking powder, baking soda, and sugar. We're going to add 1 egg to 2 cups of buttermilk, and this is what makes them very light and fluffy. I'm going to add that to the dry mixture, and this is something you can mix the batter up as much as a day in advance. So if you don't feel like getting up in the morning and making this from scratch, you can do it the night before. Let me get that stirred up real good. And also the dry mixture. I know it sounds like a corny gift, but you know how people love pancakes.
Absolutely.
You could make just the dry ingredients up and give it to somebody as a gift.
Okay.
Like for Christmas, a stocking stuffer. I wouldn't make it a big anniversary gift or anything, but. All right, now we're going to attempt, this batter will be kind of lumpy. We're going to attempt to
A cupful, basically.
Well, this is about 1/4 of a cup.
1/4 of a cup, okay.
You put that on a hot griddle that's been greased a little bit, and you can tell it's hot enough. You can put a couple of few drops of water on there if they start to sprinkle around. All right. I think 3 will be enough for now.
Can I go to sleep and wake back up?
Sure,
and
pretend it's morning.
give you the whole experience?
Yes. All right, once those start to cook a little bit, then you want to drop a few blueberries in each pancake.
Okay.
Like that. I wouldn't mix the blueberries up in the batter. There you go.
I'm gonna
Make sure.
do one here.
Let's make sure that's hot enough.
Watch my artistic ability.
Do it. Make a little smiley
Well, I'm
face
gonna make a
on
little
there.
smiley face, a little nose, and I found out Ray's cooking, so it's an unhappy pancake.
Here, you got one more.
All right, we got boom, boom. Okay, we'll make a happy pancake here.
And you could, I know this is a blueberry show, but you could leave them out. You could put strawberries. You could put peaches.
Notice I'm not an artist. That does not look like a smiley face, so we'll just go
No,
ahead.
it looks like a smiley face gone really bad.
There we go.
All right, let's see if that's, I think that's done enough. You just flip it.
Ah, okay.
Once the edges of the pancake start to get not as shiny as the rest is when you flip it. There we go.
You're good.
All right, and
Nice.
then cook that on that side a little longer. All right, then you would serve that with syrup, the syrup of your choice.
We got the little finished product over here, and I'll like open them up, and you can see the pancakes in there. Look at that. Or no, you can see the blueberries in there. Look at that. Very nice.
Yeah, everybody loves blueberry pancakes.
What's next?
All right, I'm going to turn that off so we don't burn ourselves. Those should be almost done. Let me take that off of there. We'll pretend they're done. How's that?
Okay.
They're done enough because they're coming up pretty easy. At this point, you would want to put hot butter on there. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is a blueberry relish, which you would serve with grilled chicken. This is 1.5 cups to 2 cups of Georgia blueberries, about 1/4 cup of a Vidalia onion or other onion. Vidalia works the best. A tablespoon of fresh ginger, chopped. I wouldn't use, in this, I would not use ginger out of a spice jar. You wouldn't. And this is a tablespoon of fresh cilantro and a serrano pepper, which is very hot. So if you're not into hot stuff, you could substitute a bell pepper or jalapeno pepper.
Okay.
And then just lime juice.
Real simple.
Very simple. And you would serve that with grilled chicken. And the marinade is low sodium soy sauce, sherry, garlic, brown sugar, and crushed red pepper. And that's a real good basic marinade. And it's very good with that.
And it makes for a very, very colorful and pretty dish.
It's very, very pretty.
Yes.
And then last but not least, and we're not going to show how to do this because everybody knows how to chop, it's a blueberry salad with Georgia peaches, Georgia pecans,
we have that
an
over here.
avocado, and the dressing is lime juice and olive oil, and that is it. And it is delicious and very colorful. I would recommend putting the peaches and the avocado in last because they will turn.
The many uses of Georgia blueberries, and of course, folks, you can go online to gfb.org/recipe, find all these awesome recipes using Georgia blueberries. Marcia, as always, thank you so much, and we will see you again next month.
It's the most, or the best voice we have in agriculture to promote it right now. Even our station, our politicians, they come to Farm Bureau to ask us questions, even on a local level. First of all, I'm a farmer, and I like promoting farming. I think it's a good lifestyle. I've raised my family farming. I didn't start out farming. Of course, I was raised on a farm. My dad had a little small farm in a neighboring county, grow some produce, tobacco, hogs. It was a little family farm. I went to college, got my degree in agronomy, went to work with Soil Conservation Service, and then on eventually as a county agent, and then went into farming. Really, I just liked it. And I like, well, with Farm Bureau, I like to have the opportunity to promote farming.
Hey, quick program note, next week on The Monitor, join us as we travel to Athens and sit down with the new Dean of UGA's College of Agricultural and Environmental Science, Sam Pardue. His take on the program, as well as extension and the direction he sees them going in the near future. Here's a sample.
Really spent the past 2 months trying to get out and meet people. And one of the things that I've been really impressed by is that how passionate people are about, first off, the University of Georgia, the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, and agriculture. And that's a good mix, that we've got people who are really invested and interested.
Once again, our conversation with Dr. Sam Pardue, that is coming up next week right here on the Georgia Farm Monitor. Finally today, it's called the Central Savannah region of our state, and unfortunately we don't get to that area as much as we'd like, but recently Kenny Burgamy had an opportunity to visit with one Wilkes County family that has found success with dairy farming for over 30 years.
Here in North Wilkes County, spread over some 400 acres of rolling hills, you'll find Jack Bentley Jr.'s dairy and beef cattle operation. He started that over 35 years ago after graduating from Clemson University. Today, he's very active in the local Farm Bureau and on the advisory committee of the Wilkes County Young Farmers.
College graduated from Clemson in 1979 and came right here and started there. Borrowed my first loan from PCA, Farm Credit, and started. I grew up in Lincoln County, which is about 18 miles away, and then I moved here. My father purchased this farm in '77, and he made a down payment on it, and we assumed the mortgage in '79 and came in and started there. When I got out of college in 1979, there was not a whole lot of ways to make a living on the farm, and dairying was the best thing to do. So I started, when I was a junior in college, I started putting heifers together and getting ready to go into dairy business.
Bentley is quick to tell us that he didn't do it all by himself.
Both my sons graduated from Clemson. One of them got out in '04 and one got out in '06. And the oldest one, Will, he went into the chicken business, and he has since liquidated his chicken houses and came back here to the dairy full time. But he worked at the dairy pretty much all the time he had the chicken house. He was here most of the time, in and out. And Ben got out in '06, and he decided to come back to the farm. So he's been here since '06.
Grow up in a small town like this and you get used to everything about it, and it's kind of hard to change it. You know, you go off and see what everybody else has done. 4 years of college was probably the best thing that happened to me as far as appreciating what was at home, because you meet so many people with different backgrounds, and you know, it helped me put everything into perspective and made me realize, you know, what we had.
And Ben's brother, Will Bentley, said there are a few challenges that they face on the farm.
It seems like everything's against you, trying to figure out insects, pests, how to make a cow more productive, watching your bottom line, trying to be profitable.
It's a constant struggle, a battle. You know, it's uphill and downhill. It's like a roller coaster. You have peaks and valleys. You know, but it's a challenge. But you don't do anything crazy in the good times. You don't do anything crazy in the bad times. You just kind of ride it out. It's a challenge. You just stay out there, stay consistent. You got to do the things you knew how to do well. You just have to do them well every day.
The Bentley family oversees the dairy, which includes growing various crops and timber. They all agree that being connected to the Wilkes County Farm Bureau has been a huge benefit.
Well, you meet a lot of people and you get a lot of connections. And Farm Bureau is important because it's one of our voices in Washington and in the state. And I know Tom McCall pretty good. He was always involved with Farm Bureau, and now he's in the legislature. So Farm Bureau is important for connections and what they do for the farmers.
Me and Will both probably like to thank our father for, what he's done to put this together and allow us to be able to make a living doing what we do.
Again, that was Kenny Burgamy reporting, and unfortunately that is going to do it for this week's edition of the Georgia Farm Monitor. Just a reminder, for all the latest ag info regarding food, great recipes, and what's happening down on the farm, be sure to check out our Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest pages. You'll stay informed and see what's up in the world of farming and the Farm Monitor Show. Take care, everybody. We will see you next week right here on the Georgia Farm Monitor. Have a great week.